Alrighty, it's been a while since my last Suikoden video, so today's as good a day as any. Believe it or not, but it's been over 10 years since the last main Suikoden title, but have you ever wondered what the major players in the series development have been up to since then? This video is going to look at not only the main man behind the series, but also those who played a significant role in the series development. Also, if you've got a suggestion for another Suikoden video, let me know in the comments. The Suikoden 4 director Masayuki Saruta hasn't done much outside of the Suikoden series. His most recent role was in 2008, where he produced Time Hollow, which is the follow-up to Shadow of Memories, or Shadow of Destiny, depending on where you're from. Takahiro Sakiyama, the director of Suikoden 5, hasn't really done much either. In terms of game design, apart from Suikoden 5, the Game Boy Advance version of Silent Scope was his only project, and this was in 2002. And guess what? The same can be said about Kazuyoshi Tsugawa, who wrote Suikoden 5. Suikoden Tearcris in 2006 and Gensu Suikoden The Woven Web of a Century in 2012 are his two most recent projects. But now it's time to get on to perhaps the three major players of the Suikoden series. I'll start with the incredible composer of the first two Suikoden games, Miki Higashino. In 2001, she left Konami on maternity leave, but a few years later helped compose 10,000 Bullets with Yasunori Mitsuda, you know, that genius composer behind Chrono Cross and a bunch of other games. After this, her only credited role was for Poppin' Music Adventure, which is a Japanese rhythm game released on several systems. This was the last game she worked on. However, in an interview with VGM Online, she shed some light onto why she decided to stop composing. She stated, "One day I felt like the goddess of music was whispering in my ear, saying, 'It's time to put down that burden. You've done so well. If you're gonna quit, now's your only chance.'" Higashino said that she's the type of person to pour everything into her work, and because of this, she was never able to build a stable personal life. Physically, her job had taken its toll and she needed to reset. She had a vision of building a home and becoming a mother, so that's what she decided to focus on. So, what's she up to these days? Well, she's just busy being a full-time mother. However, she still does do the odd work here and there, such as her participation in the creation of a charity CD. All I can say now is thanks for the music. Some of your compositions are among the most powerful and beautiful pieces of music I've ever heard in my life. Next on the list we have Junko Kawano, who has worked in a number of roles. She was the designer for Suikoden 1, helped write and design Suikoden 2, and was the writer, producer and designer of Suikoden 4 and Suikoden Tactics. So yeah, it's safe to say that she has been a pretty important part of the Suikoden series as a whole. Now, around the time of Suikoden 5, during an interview, Junko stated that she planned to use the increased power of the PS3 to create more mood in her scenes. This heavily implied that she was involved in the planning of Suikoden 6, but obviously nothing ever came of this. Since then, she's only worked on Time Hollow, which was the title I mentioned before, and also Zack and Ombra, the Phantom Amusement Park, which is a puzzle adventure game for the DS. It's been over 7 years since its release, so whether or not she's working on something right now is anyone's guess. Now it's time for the main man, the one, the only Yoshitaka Murayama. He is the director, producer and writer of Suikoden, Suikoden 2, Suikoden 1 and 2, Suikoden Card Stories and Suikoden 3. The Suikoden series would not exist without this legend, so what happened to him? In 2002, Murayama left Konami a month before the release of Suikoden 3. He did this because it was only ever his intention to stay at the company for 10 years. Once that time was up, he always intended to leave and begin freelance work. Personally, I still think it's a little strange that he couldn't stick around for another month to see Suikoden 3 through to the end. After all, his departure meant that his name was removed from the credits due to company policy. Once he left Konami, Murayama immediately set up his own gaming company, Blue Moon Studio. Its major release, 10,000 Bullets, was released in 2005 on the PS2 and received mediocre reviews and poor sales. Here's some gameplay from the title. Did anyone get a chance to play it? Let me know in the comments. Murayama was also the writer for the Japanese exclusive strategy RPG Tensho Gakuen Gekoroku. Unfortunately, little information is available about this title. For the following 10 years, not a lot was heard from Murayama. This year, however, the 3DS exclusive RPG Alliance Alive was released in Japan. Murayama was a scenario writer here, and if Murayama has a pen in his hand, it's gotta be good. Alliance Alive was given a 34 out of 40 by Famitsu and is set for a worldwide release in 2018, so it may be worth checking out. Murayama's current project is writing a manga adaptation of Laura Resnick's Magic the Gathering novel, The Purifying Fire. So, I know what you're all thinking, is there a chance that Murayama would ever return to Suikoden? In an interview with the Suikoden revival movement, when asked this question, Murayama replied if the production environment allowed for it to be made right. Murayama poured his heart and soul into the Suikoden series, so it makes sense that he wants all the conditions to be as perfect as possible. But to be honest, this kind of answer really gets to me, because it's not a yes, I would love to work on it, nor is it a I will never go back to Suikoden. There's just enough in the response to leave that little bit of hope trapped in my soul. Murayama also stated that he's close with the original Suikoden team and drinks with them at the end of each year. I hope to God that this year they all get blind drunk, reminisce on old times and decide to get back together for Suikoden 6. That's one Christmas present I would love. So as you can see, Murayama seems to be the only one still active in the industry, but it is good to see that he's still making RPGs. While a reunion of the Suikoden Dream Team is highly doubtful, stranger things have happened. This was Hellfire RPGs, thanks for watching. If you too are a Suikoden fan, check out some of my other Suikoden related content. Also hit like and subscribe, it helps out a lot. See you next time.